Hello people of the internet and welcome back to the Armbar arcade. Happy Christmas and yeah, feeling rather festive today with a selection of bootleg games for you. This is from the retro MiniTV games as sold to me by Maplin, who are now out of business, so that tells you exactly how good those are. It wasn't what put them out of business, presumably. It might have been, I don't know. But it promises on the box that we can relive hours of video game nostalgia with these MiniTV games featuring 200 fun games. Simply connect to your TV to play. And an Elgato, obviously, if you want to stream it. Features 200 8-bit games. Connect controller to TV to play. They've said that twice. And it takes 3 AAA batteries. So this is the entire console. It's really tiny, and just so you can see, the joystick here has absolutely no travel on it. Like, that is maximum travel. It's pretty bad. Anywho, I thought we were going to start off with my favourite of these 200 games, which is called Mowing. And in Mowing, what you do... The music's terrible, by the way, you just have to get used to that. Hopefully you can hear that in both ears. I've just got it in my left, but tell me how that goes for you. So, yeah, in the game Mowing, what you do is the mowing. It's exactly what it says on the tin. This isn't... Not every game is like this. There are some that take a little bit more Google translation, but... I'm in awe at the quality of this game, to be honest. There's a gas can, and now suddenly the lawnmower has gas and travels around a whole lot faster. Now, they're not all this simple either. This is probably about the standard of quality we can expect tonight, but there's a few more subtleties to some of the other games. Now, as far as I can gather, these are all like Russian or Chinese ROM hacks. Oh, a mole came up out of the ground and killed us. So that's something that occurred. I can turn it up for you, Preston, but I'm not sure you want to hear this sort of thing. Tell me if that's too loud. It probably is, because any volume on this sort of thing is too loud. If I'm deafening you, just let me know. Was that too loud? It probably was. Anyway, so that's the general standard of games. That's my favourite one so far. It will go to no signal for a moment while I reset it, because obviously you have to reset the console every time you want to change a game. But basically, what I thought we'd do tonight is I can take some requests. If you see anything on this list of games on this page that you'd like me to play, just whack it in the chat and I'll have a go. I quite fancy Magic Johnny? Magic Johnny? I don't know if it's supposed to be Johnny or Joni, but we'll see how it goes. Tell me if the music's too loud or quiet. I think it varies from game to game, so we might just have to deal with it anyhow. Because nutrition sucked by the huge monsters, so I can't read this fast game. A little hero's called Joni. He's come up, and I can't read that fast, so you'll have to just screenshot that if you want to know the lore of Magic Joni. He's got a plant. He's got a man-eating plant. Does Magic Joni? So basically, all of these games you're sort of thrown into. They don't tell you what to do. It's just like, here you go, have a go at this, and you have to kind of ascertain what needs doing. I see there's a treasure chest there. It doesn't appear we can do anything with it, so I'm going to leave that for now. They've really outdone themselves with this one. It's got a bit of platforming, which is more than can be said for quite a lot of the other games on this. And the music is awful, but not that bad. Like, it's not ear-bleedingly awful. I don't know what these enemies are supposed to be. It looks like they're kind of... flowers, I guess, maybe? Difficult to say. How do I open this chest? Is there no way to open a chest? Have I got to kill all the enemies on screen? The main issue with this is just that you're thrown into games like, yeah, play this, and it's like, great, but how? How do I... I don't think Joni can open chests. That's enough of that. There's 200 of these to get through, so we can pretty easily discount any games that we don't like. I think the joypad's a little bit stuck on there. One moment. Okay, it seems to just be... Oh, I see. I got the A button stuck, which kept scrolling through the game. So Nick wants to go at F22. Probably one of the best games on the system by virtue of being first in the list. So here we go. It's copyright 2005 for SR06882. So if you're them, then sorry, but we're playing your game on a Maplins console. It's very similar to 1945 on the NES. I feel like it could be a ROM hack of that. Then again, it could not be. Who knows? It's kind of a shoot 'em up, and like I say, one of the most competent games on the system. Obviously, Mowing being the #1 AAA game on the system. The only thing AAA about this system is the batteries that it takes. There's a volcano there. Excellent rendering of whatever it's supposed to be. Looks like a lobster shooting baseballs at us. You have to use your imagination a little bit with these 8-bit games. Yeah, well, 1945 I think was the intro game from Tekken 1. I know that Namco made one of the space shooters. Oh, we got hit. Okay. That's fine. That's why we have lives. Of course, the thing about these kind of bootleg 8-bit games is there really isn't much to them. Like, there's some where there's, like, even less to them than you'd expect, but it's not too bad at the moment. It's tolerable. There are worse NES games. The music's not even half bad for this. I think they've done an okay job with this one game. Give it at least a 4 out of 10, you know. You got these baseball throwing lobsters. They kind of look like micro machines that are flying at us, but maybe they are, who knows. Alright, one more life, and then we can play something different, because even if I play each game for a minute, that's like 3.5 hours, and no one should really be subjected to that. Least of all me. See, I know we play some terrible games that were like commercially released on the channel, but these really have to take the biscuit. These weren't even commercially released. These aren't even good enough for like homebrew release. This is just something that Maplins threw together for a $5. I've been waiting for a chance to use it. I've had this for like a year, you know. The first stage is seemingly never ending. We keep getting caught by these baseball throwing lobsters. At least that's what they look like. There's another power up there. Some sort of laser bit. Ah, yes. Some side ships. Now we're talking. Look at that. We are the most powerful aircraft in the skies. Gotta say, I do prefer Ace Combat to this. Just a tiny bit. Don't know if you've played Assault Horizon Legacy, but that is a good game. Oh, the amount of destruction we're raining down now. They don't stand a chance. Even the game screen is flashing with how much we're hitting them. In fact, a little bit too much, if I'm honest. This is like epileptic levels of Getting hit a little bit as well. We lost all our power-ups. I know we've got rocket ships. That's a new one. So F-22 wasn't a bad pick, to be honest. Like, in terms of quality games on this system, it's probably the only one. Which is why it comes first. I always find in like 201 systems, they're like, the first game is always the most detailed and the best produced, and then the rest of them are like absolutely downhill from there. That being said, this is just a never-ending first stage of the Tekken 1 intro game, so game over. Hooray. 8-bit game in San Andreas. Is that, oh, what's it called? It's like the yin and yang black and white one. I have. It's decent. So what are we feeling? We've got Vanguard, Racing Fighter, Animal Blockers, Aerial Warfare, Crystal Ball, or Police Dog Lassie. I'm going to take a sip of rum and coke because I've earned it already. Excellent. I think we're going to check out Police Dog Lassie. Whether or not that is actually Lassie. Oh wow, what a lovely 8-bit rendering of a dog there. That's truly heartwarming. I don't understand. Am I supposed to be memorizing where this guy's burying stuff? If he could just stop burying stuff, that'd be great. So we've got to come along and find 6 things that he's buried. There was one here-ish. Yeah, it was somewhere here. Maybe along a bit. There we go, okay. There were like 3 of them along the bottom, for sure. There we go. Oh, we are doing so well. I could be a police dog right now if I wasn't human. Victory. All important that police dogs get the victory in finding things. I also love the 3-second song loop that they've decided to compose for this song. It's like, yeah, it's looping already. We had literally no ideas. That being said, this is just a memory game. I find a lot of these 201s have games that could easily be played on a board game or, you know, in some other form than video game form, because you find in Japan there's a lot of like mahjong games. It's like, if you want mahjong so badly, just play mahjong. Like, a lot of early systems had lots of poker games. I've blown a dog up, so I'm a monster really. I'm gonna try not to blow any more dogs up for a start. One more from this selection, I feel. Racing Fighter is going to be my choice. I don't regret this at all, yet. Oh, I see. This is like Spy Hunter, I think it was, on the NES. And arcades. It's not bad. Unfortunately, the way the system's been made, it's quite hard to accelerate and shoot. But it's okay, because I'm out of bullets, so... It's just one of those like avoid things as you go along games. I'm sure there's plenty of those on this actual system because they were a staple of early systems and ROM hack systems. It's making a bit of a farting noise, isn't it? They could have had a better sound effect for a car, I've got to say. Still, we're not doing badly. Usually I like crash within a couple of seconds of taking off in these sort of games. You'll notice that all of these games feature quality sound effects. By which I mean none of these games feature quality sound effects. Although that explosion was quite meaty, I suppose. A mighty meaty explosion, perhaps. Already I'm tired of that. Let's see what's on page 2, huh? Police versus Thief. Pong Pong. Power Robot. Pulveration. Rabbit Village. Seaport Gual. Seawolf. And Space Base. I'm curious about Pong Pong. If you're curious about any of the games, let me know which ones to play, because otherwise I'll just be choosing them all myself. Okay, this is not ping pong as I assumed. It seems to be dodgems. So we've got to try and get these AI cars down the holes. Okay, I can do that. Maybe. So we turn on an 8-way directional pad, which is probably not the best way to control a vehicle, if I'm honest. That's like tank controls almost. Someone's going down the hole. It might be me. It's just collision sounds and then half the soundtrack. I love that the collision sound cuts out the soundtrack. That is wonderful. A lot of 8-bit games feature that, but it's never more evident than in very cheap game collections. There's not a lot to this one. I will say this is a fairly simple game. It's reminded me of like Action 52 that had a lot of very simple games on it, especially at the tail end. I think that sound's going to haunt my dreams tonight. Early Robot Wars, not a bad shout. Hardly Chaos 2 though, am I? At best, I'm like a dodgem. And what are the holes for? I suppose they're the pit. Maybe they are the pit. It's not bad. It's like almost competently put together if you want 2 minutes of entertainment. Which I feel like for this collection is actually quite a high standard. That being said, Seawolf. Chaos minus 55 sounds about right. Let's see what Seawolf is all about. What a wonderful title screen that I couldn't have made in MS Paint. Is it just going to be Battleship? Oh, the fart sound effect is wonderful. So, there's a ship there. Do we fire on it? Suppose we do. What about that? Right. Great. We're apparently doing quite well at being some sort of naval officer. If it's this easy, then I wouldn't mind doing this for a job, you know. Just ship over there, blight up. Alright, cool, we've done it. Ship over there, blight up. Is that what the Navy spend their day doing? I feel like it's not. And every time we destroy an enemy ship, a new one appears. So, like, are we really doing anything? Yeah, if this was like the come and join the Navy game, I'd be like, no thanks. It seems quite boring, actually. After being on a boat for 5 minutes, I'm okay. Maybe a bit seasick. I think that's all there is to this game. Is just this. So, maybe a different one. That's the best bit about this collection, is we have the freedom to play different games. Wonderful. It took a little while to reset there. Curious as to what Rabbit Village might entail. A village of rabbits, presumably, but doing what? Oh, that's going to haunt me. Wow, okay. It's not quite the simple series, is it? I wish I could say I understood what was going on here, but I really don't. So if we lower that, and then he jumps in, and then we bring him up here. Is that right? Is that what we were supposed to do? If someone could please explain what's going on, that would be amazing. Who that guy is parachuting down, I don't know. But this is the rabbit village, and apparently this is what they do all day in the rabbit village. And now there's a crocodile in there. Wonderful. Truly an epic game. Page 3, we've got Spring World, Star, Submarine, Through Man, Toy Factory, Utmost Warfare, Vigilant, and Warzone. I think we're going to have to start with Through Man, because, you know, who is he? Why is he? There he goes. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's Through Man. What? What is this? Okay. So it's basically just a shoot 'em up, but with a bloke instead of a ship. And it's quite difficult. The difficulty level on these games is far higher than it should be, considering they're literally just ROM hacks. Like, if any of these have half an original idea, I'm impressed. So we're shooting birds. We're going to grab some... I see. Was that a bouncing baby? What's good, Black and Mild? How you doing? We're playing some bootleg games. This is Through Man. He flies through things with his jetpack and stuff. I don't know. It's let's grab the bouncing no, it was an enemy. Apparently bouncing babies are to be avoided in this game. Who knew? I mean, in life I try to avoid bouncing babies, but surely in video games it's fine. They pose no threat. Fine, I'll destroy the baby then. A boxing glove? Okay, great. Let's go in the tunnel. And now it changes to this front-on view. I mean, it's the first game to have like a second stage. It's also got... Wow. Red and blue flashing. Just like that episode of Pokemon. You know, with the Porygons that got banned. Toy Factory, that's Christmassy. We're going to have a look at Toy Factory, see what sort of Christmas things are occurring in the Toy Factory. I regret my decision immediately. Apparently that was not the correct thing to do, I don't know. Oh, do you put bombs in the recycling? Okay, right. I didn't know bombs were recyclable. Apparently so, though. So it's basically just sorting things by colour. I assume we're supposed to be learning from this, but really all I'm learning is the pain of cheaply developed video games. Wow, aren't we doing well? So festive. I know we're doing it wrong, but I have no incentive to do it right, really, do I? Wonder if Santa will be happy with me. Hooray, we blew it up. The thing is, the time limit counts down from 555. Like, who's spending 10 minutes playing that? Nobody. Nobody is spending 10 minutes playing that. Let's see what's on page 4. Water Pipe, Wild Worm, Wonder Ball, Movebox, Video Poker, Apple Chess, Fish War, and Puzzle. Immediately I'm drawn to Fish War. I want to know why the fish are at war. Oh, this is funky. I'm going to take my jumper off, but you can listen to this funk... Oh, well, you could have listened to this funky soundtrack if it had continued. One moment. I'm getting warm. Right, it's time for Fish War. This is Joust. This is literally Joust. Or Balloon Fight. It's either Joust or Balloon Fight, depending on what you prefer. But whichever one you think it is, it's definitely a copy of an existing game. So, it's not very original, is it? Yeah, Racing Fighter was a bit like Spy Hunter. You just drove along and... It's not a very genre-specific title, is it? They were sort of like hedging their bets a little bit. Like Fighty Shooty, if that was a game. Which it's not. That wasn't very good. Yeah, video poker, I would assume, is just video poker. Like, that's one game that you can count on to be in these sort of bootleg collections and actually be video poker. So I don't think we'll look at that. Wild Worms piqued my interest. Like, what is Wild Worm? Why is the worm wild? Who's upset him? That tree looks stoned. Just saying. So I assume we are the Wild Worm? Yeah, so we're the Wild Worm. There's some big ants and that. I assume they're going to eat us. So, whoa, Mr. B, what are you doing? Nothing looks quite right in this. This is like a kind of fever dream from a child's book. Like, the tree looks stoned. The bee just looks a bit wrong. Like, he's not striped, he's just black. And that's weird. The ants, yeah, everything's a bit out of scale. I don't like this. This is... If I have a bad dream tonight, I'm going to know what game it'll be from. Well, maybe I won't, because so many of them have been terrifying. Are you saying this is kind of like... Oh, I see. The game title's like Call of Duty Skyrim. I thought you meant this was like Call of Duty Skyrim. I was going to question your sanity, Black and Mild, but we'll leave that. Is the bee coming to attack us? Did we just get bigger? I think we're getting bigger. Maybe we can eat the ants if we get big enough. It's like Snake, maybe. Yes, I'm a caterpillar. Oh, yeah. Look at me go. Except we're not fast enough to get away from anything. This is another one with like a 3-second music loop as well. So yeah, eating stuff makes you bigger, but only the purple ones for some reason. And the bee is just getting in our way. Let's go over near the stone tree. It's a bit like the tree from Legend of Zelda, to be fair. Which is just as scary. I wonder what we'll turn into. What is our final form? It'll be like, you haven't seen my final form. I'm a butterfly, I'm assuming. This joystick is one of the worst joysticks I've ever used in my life, by the way. There's literally no travel on it. I don't know if I can... Like, that's as far as it goes. How are you supposed to direct anything like that? That's enough. That is enough of that. We've got Resistant, Hitmouse, Goalkeeper, Goblet Tower, Strong PJCC, Frantic Fishing, Brother Ball, or Blackjack. I'm going to go with Brother Ball, but leave your suggestions if there's any you'd like to see. It's Electrodes. What's going on? They're ripping off Pokemon here. It's Brother Ball. Yeah. Great. They want help. Oh, I see. So we got to save our brothers, who are balls, but are more depressed than our balls. I mean, the balls are touching, but they're our brothers, so I assume that's worse? I don't know. I try not to think about it too much. This is literally Electrode Simulator. Or Voltorb. Oh look, there's a Voltorb. Yo, my dude. Why are you so happy? What's going on? Rescue you first, mate. He's well pleased. Hopefully the depressed balls cheer up, you know, once they get rescued. So we've nearly got all 5 of our brother balls. One of them keeps disappearing though. Alright, no, we'll come and get you. Just stop disappearing and we'll come and get you. I know you're over there. For goodness sake, man. Right, got you. That's all 5 of our brother balls. And that is literally the entire game. So, great. Wonderful. Now, someone said there was a game just called Puzzle. I'm intrigued. What is just Puzzle? Is it a puzzle? Is it a number game? Okay. Oh, it's one of those things where you slide it along and you have to get everything in the right order. Yeah, this doesn't need to be a video game. I think there is something to be said for telling the developers of these sort of things, like, this doesn't have to be a video game. It doesn't need to be. There's already like little plastic ones of these that exist. People could just use them. It's fine. There's really no need. Like, I'm not going to complete all of this. I'm just, you know, it already exists in plastic form. So if you want to do one of these, just get one of these in plastic, and you don't have to make software. Like, surely programming this was more of a bother than mass producing a plastic version of it. And it also looks like it's on a computer. Look, it's got like a little X to exit. It's got a little minimize function. I don't know, man. It's these sort of things are a bit of a trip back to the 80s, where video games were just a lawless wasteland where you could just copy whatever you wanted. Goblet Tower. It's a tower of goblets, maybe? Oh, I think I know what this is. Yeah, so it's that puzzle where you have to stack everything. So you stack it all up like this, and I think I've done it slightly wrong, but I think you'll have done this in your youth if you're anything like me. Yeah, and then you have to get everything over to the right place. Probably doing it slightly inoptimally, but I am doing it, so that's good. We're getting there. These are all like puzzle games that you could just do with cups, or, you know, you don't need a video game system to replicate this. You just need several goblets, like quite a lot of goblets. This is like Dr. Kawashima's brain training right now. Win. Absolute win. Enough of that. That had no music either. Some of them they just didn't bother to compose terrible music for, and then some of them they did, and I wish they hadn't. I want to see what strong PJCC is, whether that's an acronym or whether that isn't an acronym. I think the Elgato's throwing a bit of a fit with all the resetting we're doing. Hold on. Aha, we're back. Are we back? It's back on the TV. It's not back on the stream. There we go. We're back. Absolute tech genius here. Wonderful. So it's time to find out what strong PJCC actually is. I think it's supposed to be strong pull, you know? It's just really badly written. Oh, we can select what stage we want. Stage 1, please. It's the start of the game. So it's one of these puzzles where you can move stuff out the way, and then if you do it right, you get to whatever you're supposed to get to. There was a PC game like this called Mr. Matt, which I quite enjoyed, but when presented in this form as like a legitimate video game, well, I say a legitimate video game, a slightly legitimate video game, it's just not as good, is it? It just really isn't. Like, this is far too easy. See, I think that was supposed to be strong pull, but it was just strong bad. Right, next up we've got Danger Bridge, Road Worker, Pizza Boy, Toad in the Hole, Octopus Sea, Texas Hold'em, more Texas Hold'em, Spades, or Jump Jump. Well, in honour of the champ Dan Cormier, I think we'll go for Jump Jump. Is that a gingerbread man, or... I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. Yeah, Octopus Sea. Maybe it's a James Bond game. You know, we can only hope. Yeah, get out my way, Turtle. Get out my way, Apple. Minus 200. I just want to eat an apple, man. He jumps quite high. We don't even need these like in-between platforms. We just need to go to wherever we're going. How high up are we going? I don't know. It's like Niagara Falls in here. Oh, that's a problem. So I assume this is it. It's just an endless scroller upwards. Oh no. We're at the top. Stage 2. So it is basically just that. That is it. That's Jump Jump. What about Danger Bridge? Danger Bridge sounds, you know, like Alter Bridge. On this day, I see clearly. Danger Bridge. Hopefully it's not the card game Bridge, but just a little bit more dangerous than normal. I don't get it. Oh, I see. I'm in control of these pink bridge segments. But both the top and the bottom ones, and I have to guide these stupid little things across. Okay, I see. I'm not very good at it, because it's like a multitasking thing, but again, this is one of those games that really didn't need to be a video game. It could have just... There's got to be another way to do this. It is just one of those multitasking sort of games. Yeah, I can't multitask, so it's not good. Have there been any good games so far? Not really. No. Alright, let's see what Octopus Sea is all about. Maybe it is a James Bond game. Right. What? I don't really understand. If I'm being honest, I don't really understand what's going on here. I think we're supposed to be collecting these coins. That being said, there's a lot of things that want to hurt us. Like this massive ball of arms and a falcon. Is that a falcon? I don't know. It's quite a fast-paced game, but she gets tied up if we don't win. So, in the interest of freeing her from captivity, we better not let her get caught. It's quite difficult, this one. With such a tiny joystick. Why didn't they make it a D-pad? Like, a D-pad would have been so much better and probably cheaper for them to make. Like, to make a joypad with such little travel. A joystick, should I say, not a joypad. That wasn't great. That really was not great. Right, balloon shoot, music moment, aerial spelt really badly, hero, Metromania, checkers, volleyball 2-player, which, I mean, there's this. How are you going to do 2-player with that? Dice and assart, which I assume is assault, but they've done the Japanese thing of R's at L's. I'm going to check out music moment. So it's just going to play us a tune. As long as we catch these balls. It's not catch these hands, it's catch these balls. I didn't recognise the tune. Seems to just be going round and round as well. You literally cannot get to all of them fast enough. That takes a special type of game design to not be able to play the game perfectly. That's interesting. High jump. Okay, we've got a bit of an Olympic theme going on. We've got archery, high jump, javelin, discus putt. Let's see what high jump's all about. Wow, what is that? Is that a human? That doesn't... Oh, you won't be able to see him. Let me show you what's going on there, because I think you need to see. Look at him. Look at him. That's not a human. He's also not very good at jumping, so... Right, we've had 2 fouls so far. Come on. You can do it. Oh. It fell. What a shame. It's a cave... I suppose it is a caveman, but why is a caveman participating at the Olympics? Would be my question. We need to go faster. I love that it's got his speed in centimetres per second. It's like 1,447 centimetres per second. That's like 10 metres a second, my dude. Just put that. He's done it. He's only gone and done it, the madman. And that's basically all there is to that. I couldn't find a way earlier on when I played that to actually raise the level of the jump, so... That's basically that. Javelin, discus putt and shot putt are basically all the same. Now, the first really interesting game on here is Dark Castle, because Dark Castle is a Mega Drive game. Dark Castle is a really bad Mega Drive game, in fact. Probably deserving of a beatdown if we went back that far with our beatdowns. And the version on here actually seems like it was based on Dark Castle, maybe. If I recall correctly. Sort of. It's like an Atari 2600 version. If there was an Atari 2600 version of Dark Castle, it would be this. There's a dragon, there's a dude. Obviously the Mega Drive Dark Castle was a bit more platforming, for sure. We're just running away from a dragon here, basically. There's some points, and now we run faster. We've still got no attack, though, so that's not great. I assume, are we trying to get to the castle, or because the map keeps changing as well? So I try and go somewhere, and then the map's like, "Ha, no, you can't do that," and it's like, cheers. Just, I don't really understand what we're supposed to be doing here, but yeah, it's Dark Castle, which wasn't a great game to start with, and it's still not. When was this console released? That's a good. Did we just kill a dragon? Sort of. It doesn't really say. I bought it in 2018. Maybe the end of 2017, but it doesn't say. Some of the copyrights on the games are like from 2003 though. We saw one from 2005 earlier. So place your bets, really. It's supposed to be like a throwback to 8-bit games of the old days, except there's none that you'd remember because they're all ROM hacks. So I don't know, it's sort of one of those marketing ploys where they're like, people aren't going to take it back, you know, it only cost a tenner and it looks all nicely packaged up. Retro MiniTV games. Obviously it won't be Nintendo because you'd get sued out your ass, obviously. I don't think people were expecting it to be this bad when they took it home. I don't know. Without working at Maplin, I wouldn't be able to tell you whether any were brought back. But yeah, the Soldier Boy console is amazing compared to this. You can actually put your own games on the Soldier Boy console. Whereas this, you're stuck with the 200 games they've given you. Yeah, I feel like it was released after 1987, Nick. It's kind of like on that nostalgia trip, so I don't think 8-bit games were current at the time of the release. I'd say probably 2010 is the earliest this could have been released, because just all the stuff on it looks kind of too new. They're like, oh yeah, relive the old days with the retro mini TV game. Like if it came out in 87, it wouldn't have been called it would have been like the few years ago TV game. And maybe it would have been a bit more cutting edge at the time. I mean, 200 8-bit games in 1987, probably half the games released were of this standard in 1987. Whereas these days, where you've got Yakuza 6, I'm not too impressed with this, if we're honest. Luckily, it was only like, I think $14.99 in Maplin. Me and a friend went halves on it, so obviously I got to keep it because it's absolute trash. So X Racing is not the most exhilarating game on here. It's just like go forwards and try not to crash. We've got lots of games to get through. I mean, we've been going an hour, and what are we through? I mean, I haven't even played every single game, because why would I do that to myself? We're at game 73 out of 200. So, quite a lot of interesting ones on this bit, though. There's Dada, which, was he not an artist? There's Levin Action, as in Toyota Corolla Levin, maybe? Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja, perhaps, and Tennis 1. I'm going to look at the Levin Action, see if it is actually Toyotas. It's a helicopter, because of course it is. They weren't really too concerned with epilepsy warnings when this was released. Wow. This is the second game to do like absolutely bad flashing. Let's see what Dada's like. He was a bit of a crazy artist. Yeah, what about the people who produced the ZX Spectrum Vega Plus? Maybe this was like their test console. They were like, yeah, let's see if we can fit all of this into a tiny box. The secret is you can't. There's no way. Loving the music. It just sounds like someone pissing about on a keyboard. This appears to be a version of Popeye. Popeye had a release on, I believe, the Famicom and the NES, and it's basically that. Yeah, you go around collecting stuff. That would be olive oil at the top, but instead it's a penguin because it's unlicensed. And you go around collecting stuff, and if you get it all, you go back up there and you win. It wasn't a bad game, it's just I've seen it ripped off in a lot of ROM hacks, so I'm sort of a bit tired of it, if I'm honest. Also, there's no way to defend yourself, so if you lose, you lose. That's just how it goes. Hoodle. I hadn't seen Hoodle there before. What is Hoodle? How do we... That's just pinball. This is a Nintendo game. This is the first legit Nintendo game on the console. Okay, well, this is actually not a bad game for the time, because I believe it's 1983 when the NES first came out in Japan. They had the series of black box games, which were the very first games on the NES, and pinball was one of the first. So it's simple. It's a bit Atari 2600, but with better graphics. There's not a lot to it, but it is a game of pinball, and it's competently produced. Was this produced in China? Yeah, it was made by a company called Thumbs Up UK, but if this wasn't originally somehow from China, I would be incredibly surprised. I don't know what Mario's doing. We lost our chance to do whatever he was trying to get us to do. This is just pinball, though. Despite being the most competent game on the device, really, it is just pinball. A lot of the Nintendo black box games, back in the day, technically impressive. Now, very, very basic. That's just how it goes, you know. Technology will advance far beyond... Obviously, nowadays, where things are a bit more photorealistic, I feel like GT Sport might live up to our standards a few years on, but this isn't really cutting it, if we're honest. But that wasn't what it said on the tin, and I think as we get further through this collection, what the game names are start to matter less and less. It's like, we'll just call it anything, really. So we're going to check out Turtles, because I feel like it might be the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and even if it isn't, we might have fun. I was going to say we will have fun, but that's it's a bit strong. Do you know what? This is a really scaled down version of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on NES. I'm pretty sure. Because they have the thing in the sewers, and this is literally a scaled down version of the NES Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And I think that in itself is impressive. Fun fact about the NES Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was that it had a 8-bit version of Queen's Stone Cold Crazy. It was like do-do-do doodle-doo, doodle-doo doodle-doo, which, I mean, at the time is an achievement. It's not a very good game, but interesting that they decided to really scale down an already 8-bit game to put on this console. I'm assuming all of these already existed and they just collected together 200 of the worst games they could find and they were like, let's release it. I've seen something interesting. Powerpool Girl. Powerpuff Girls is a thing. Let's see how it is. I mean, that's Blossom, is it not? Sort of. That's Blossom from the Powerpuff Girls, for sure. I don't know what these, like, demons are, but... I mean, I don't think they got the license for this. I've got to say. I don't think they got the license for this. This is potentially an unlicensed game, guys, on this bootleg collection. So we've had the Turtles, we've got the Powerpool Girl. She's doing a bit of a dance. I don't think we need to do much more of that. Rescue Cuck. Where was that? Where was that? We need to play that. Where's Rescue Cuck? It's right at the bottom. Number 88. Well, let's do it. It is legitimately called that. It's Donkey Kong. Is it not? This is like Donkey Kong 3, maybe? It's one of the Donkey Kong games. I don't know which one, but you've just ripped off Donkey Kong there. That's all you've done. It's not even that good. SmackDown. Come on, we can trust SmackDown to be a WWF licensed game, can't we? Probably not. SmackDown. Well, it is actually called SmackDown, so that's a start. Oh, wow. It's a wrestling game. Press B to attack, but also protect. Okay, so... I mean... It's not great, but it's not awful. Fairly limited. A lot of near falls going on here. The music's terrible, and the crowd are just repeated faces, but we got this. We got this. We're going to attack. Maybe. I don't know who I don't even know which one we are, to be fair. We are one of these wrestlers. Another near fall. How many near falls before we get a pinfall? No, another 2 count. Are we even the ones pinning them, or are they pinning us, or... Who knows what's going on? Spear! And we've been thrown out of the ring. Well, the apron is actually the hardest part of the ring. We're about to get counted out of the ring here. The count's at 9. Well, the count's at 11. I don't know how far the count's going to go, because I thought it was a 10 count to get back in the ring. Oh, it's apparently a 20 count, and... Oh, the epilepsy. Oh, the epilepsy. Yeah, no, that's enough of that. Yeah, tag team wrestling on the NES. So there are some NES rip-offs. They haven't gone all Russian and Chinese ROM hacks, but they buried them deep just in case someone went to check and they were like, no, these are all absolutely terrible. You don't have to worry. So what have we got here? We got Spa, which is a chain of shops, and we've got Violent. Well, Violent was suggested first by Black and Mild, so we'll see what Violent is like. I'm going to assume it's violent. It's a bike-based shoot-'em-up. Okay. It's already better than Motorcycle King, but that's not that hard. It controls a little bit better than quite a lot of the games on this. Obviously, it's not fun or anything, but in terms of not being absolute trash, there's not a lot to it, though. Not that there is to any game on this collection. We've been destroyed. Time to see what the local spa has in stock. We're nearly getting to the point where it will be quicker to go backwards through the games, which I do plan to do once we get there. So Spa, this is a chain of shops, like convenience stores, in case you don't have them. Okay. I think that... Oh, this is City Connection, I think it's called, for the NES, was basically this. Or is it Battle City? I think there's an NES game that is literally this, but with men instead of animals. And people chuck things out the window at you. So some of these are legitimately NES games. It's just they're buried deep enough that Nintendo weren't going to notice, or probably didn't care at this point. Like, you know, the NES Classic didn't have any of this crap on. They were called Thumbs Up UK in Ruislip. So take the Central Line to their headquarters and go and complain to them. That's enough of that. Let's see what's on the next page. Surely it won't be Rescue Cut. We've got Surface Fire, Cobra of Sky, Bandits, Bither, Bounce, Combator, Ether, and Blobbuster. Anyone got any thoughts? Because I sure don't. Cobra of Sky, I think, is calling to me. G3, Cobra of Sky. Okay. Are we launching? Are we not launching? There we go. Oh, it's pretty bad. To be fair, it doesn't feel too... It's a bit like Asteroids, but it's like one of those games that was a bit too ambitious for its own time, I think. It's not terrible, it's just sort of... You can see the sort of technological difficulties that the game is having in loading the map as I'm flying around it. And there's basically nothing to do. Oh, there's someone. More epilepsy. I mean, that's the thing. Combator is going to be Gallagher. That's a bold prediction. Let's see if you're right. Yeah, to be fair, if they'd hidden Zelda in here, that would be great. Where have they hidden it? They could, you know, there needs to be like a hint on the back of the box. It's like, we hid Zelda in game number 92, Bither. And you'd be like, oh cool, cheers for that, mate. So this is not Gallagher. This is not anything. This is like Shinobi, but really, really bad. I don't know. I can't move upwards. It's like Men in Black, but I don't know. It's oh, there we go. I see. I can move upwards. Oh, I can also move downwards. So he's got shuriken that he can fire about. It's an interesting one. And by interesting, I mean I have no desire to play much more of it. I think a policy we're going to continue with these games is if we die, then we die, and that's it. But we are nearly king of the castle. And that has done nothing. So, great. Wonderful game, that one. Really liked Combator. Not a lot to say about it, though. So we're halfway through now. We've got Lunation, Fearmaster, Graders, which is going to be Gradius. Finally, a game we recognise. Hassle. Who wants Hassle? Why would you want Hassle? Tunny. Ooh, Weapon. Gold Digger and Future Tank. I feel like Fearmaster is the greatest mystery, but Tunny and Hassle are also calling to me, so we'll see what those are like. Okay, so this is Fearmaster. Someone couldn't be bothered to make a background because it's all grey. Quite honestly, I wish I knew what was going on. So I think I'm the like yellow and blue thing, but I mean anything could be happening right now. I don't know. Oh, there's a link to their shop. I will be checking that out. Just give me a moment. Yeah, no, that's enough of that. Let's see what Thumbs Up Entertainment have to offer. Because I would rename the company Thumbs Down Entertainment for what I think of them. Latest products. They've got some little retro arcade stuff. Retro handheld console. Yeah, that's not good. They seem to deal exclusively in 8-bit games, but like these kind of 8-bit games that nobody wants to play. Like if you want to play Zelda, then fair enough, but no one wants to play this. Like it's just a hassle. You see what I did there? Because it's hassle. Is that a rabbit? Is that a rabbit with a gun? What is actually going on? They've got a 2-player arcade machine. Well, Black and Mild, if you fancy 2-player at any point, then don't hit me up because no. Oh, the gun also fires forwards. Right, okay. I was throwing grenades, it seems. Well, that's enough of that. So we're going to start going backwards through the games because it will be quicker to get to them. So, we've already checked out Mowing, which is a classic. Mouse Hero, Mouse Snare, Mirror Devil World, Meccano. Does anyone remember Meccano? That was some stuff. That was like building toys. Let's see what Meccano is. Surely it's not actual Meccano in video game form. It's not. It's I don't know how to describe this. It's something that doesn't need to be a video game. Again, we're just gonna make a house. This is actually a speed run of Meccano. So you know, keep your eyes peeled because we're going pretty fast here. You know, I wouldn't want you to get left behind with quite how fast we're doing this. It's a work of art. It's like Leonardo da Vinci himself has come down and merged with an NES. I wonder what the speedrun record for this is. We're probably pretty close, if I'm honest. Well, that is just a picture. Oh, look, there's another picture. No, that's enough. I don't understand why colouring in games or puzzle games or anything like that that could be done in real life were ever made into video games. That's just a waste of effort, really. Particularly like Phoenix games had some PS2 games that were just colouring in, and it's like, does it need to be a game though? Do we have to commit that to a DVD? It's a waste of a DVD. Really is. You've got Hammer and Nail, which I believe, I don't know, that might be something that was based on an NES game. We've got IQ Champion, which I'm definitely going to give a go. Let's see what IQ Champion's about. Dongjin Techno presents. I love Dongjin Techno. They're like 2003. Well, that's dated this system, so it has to be after 2003. Presents to start. That doesn't make any sense, but okay. I will present to start. This is the Chinese version of Dr. Kawashima's brain training. You shoot bees to become an IQ champion. I really don't know. Quite honestly, this is what? It's like Baron. It's like if you were a video game student just trying to make your very first game, you'd make more than this in a game. Stop moving. Come here. Staged. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think this is a very challenging game, if I'm honest. This was a real bad batch of LSD. What have we got? Ice Ocean, Happy Match, Jumping Kid, Lightning. What's Lightning? You can't go wrong with Lightning, can you? Yeah, Phoenix games are that much worse that they just released colouring games, which I feel like, while technically a video game that was released, at least D3 and Midas were trying to make games. Like, Phoenix just feel like they didn't even know how to make games, so they didn't try. I mean, this feels much the same. I don't know what is even going on here. How do we make it go faster? Okay, we're going faster now. The lack of any sound is often... Do you know what, actually? I quite enjoy silence. I love a bit of silence, me. Anything other than silence is painful. It's just not very good. We found like one game, Pinball, that I could enjoy. Other than that, it's not going very well. Final Blood, Fish Story, Flingball, Forest Adventure, Fruit Gift, Ghost Castle, Golden Bird or Greeds. I don't want any of these. I'll go with Fish Story because it's going to be Finding Nemo. I'm excited. Well, I mean that's Nemo, right? This is. I'm assuming you can only eat fish that are smaller than you, so we've got to stay away from that one. I love how the score counter is a dead fish. That's stylism there. Another inventive soundtrack for this game. Really making great use of the NES's whatever it had. It is just eating fish, isn't it? That's all there is to do. Let's see if we can eat this purple one. So that's a no. A skeleton there just dropping to the ocean floor. So there's Cookie's Labyrinth, Crystal Blast, Deformable, Dejectile, Egg Contest, Fair's Treasure. I mean, how do we choose? Crystal Blast, I guess? We'll give it a Crystal Blast, shall we? This could be anything. It could be columns. It's sort of columns, maybe. I don't understand what we're doing. I don't know how I'm putting myself through this. All of these games are really bad. Oh, we did it. Sort of. Did we? I don't know. What would help is if all the games came with a slight explanation, like, do this. Because I'm not controlling the plane. I'm only controlling when things drop out of it. And it sounds like a remix of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star is playing. So there's that. I mean, this is worse than the Simple Series games. But I'm not sure how much effort they actually put into any of these. Like, obviously Thumbs Up have just gone and collected a load of ROMs and been like, sweet, those are free. Stuck them on a console that you can connect to your TV, and they've basically collected $14.99 off everyone that was stupid enough to pay it, including me. We've got Abscondee. That's... should we abscond? I mean... Oh, wow. That's, that's different. Every title card seems to have been made in MS Paint. Like, I'm not even kidding. Is that Isaac from The Binding of Isaac? Like, tell me that isn't Isaac. Right, okay. So we got these spinners. Try and avoid getting caught up in those spinners. I'm going to collect all the balls, because if there's one thing that all of these games are, it's balls. Stop spinning then! I don't know when they start spinning. It only seems to be when I stand on top of them, which is a problem. The joystick's getting less responsive by the second. Somehow managed to avoid being spun upon there. Okay, I think we're gonna do it, you know. We've got this ball. We've got this ball. We got this. No, we fell into a ditch that wasn't even visible. Wonderful. Right, that's just enough. That is that's too much. Falling into a ditch that wasn't even on the screen. I mean, how cheap can you get? Was that egg contest? No, just contest. Right, let's see what contest is. Contest 2004. Great. What? So we've got homing missiles, and we're playing the computer that isn't even attacking us. And I'm assuming we're going to win. They're not putting up much resistance, let's be honest. We've still got full health. It's not much of a contest. I'd say that's a whitewash, if anything. Again, they're doing very little. I assume those green things are like their attacks, but... Oh, they hit me. Okay. But it did no damage, so what was the point, really? Unless we've just got 3 lives, in which case it's incredibly unfair, because all of the enemies take about 500 hits. I mean... Contest. This is contest. It sure is. That was a contest. Well, I never thought Maplin were particularly selective in terms of what they stocked back in the day when they actually existed. A lot of their products were overpriced and basically crap. I remember I used to have a headphone splitter that I got off Amazon for like £3, and my friends had a Maplin headphone splitter for about a tenner, and yeah, mine worked for far longer. Small Dinosaur. I think we're gonna play Small Dinosaur, guys. So, what's your favourite game ever? Small Dinosaur. What is this? Do we avoid it? We've got to get the heart, surely. Just grab the hearts. Great. So it is literally just grab the falling stuff game, which is kind of like one of the most basic forms of video game. There's a few types of video game that will show up in every like 200 in 1 compilation. This is one of them, for sure. There's something wrong with that baby up there, again, for sure. Oh, we're supposed to collect the toys as well. Okay. So just not the stuff that looks like it could hurt us then. Bananas? No, we like bananas. So what don't we like? Why don't we just collect everything? No, literally, we're supposed to just be collecting everything. What's the point then? What is there to dodge? Why not just walk? Ah, dear. It's draining my will to live. I mean, this is like... I considered having an EverDrive for the Mega Drive and the SNES and that, which has all of the games that you could possibly ever want on one cartridge. And there's 2 problems with that. One, I find that I never play... If I've got a choice of 200 things, I never play them all. I hardly ever play any of them. Whereas if I've got one cart, I pick up like Clay Fighter or Donkey Kong. I'm like, whoa, I've got this one cart, why not try it? Secondly, there was a whole lot of rubbish released for every video game system. Even the Dreamcast has its fair amount of shovelware. The Wii and the PS2 are incredibly bad for shovelware. Like, this is just a shovelware console, like the whole of it. Strafe? It's got to be a shooter, hasn't it? Strafe has got to be a shooter. Yeah, Pound World went out of business. They didn't sell this crap. What is this? I recognise these enemies. They're from something else. See, there's no real logic to this game. It's just kind of shoot at stuff. We've got lives. The music's on a 2-second loop. I mean, if you made a game like this, even if you were fully intending to put it on like a 200-in-1 system, would you not just be like, this is just too bad to do anything with? And no one's going to want to play this sort of rubbish. Except me. For some reason we just subject ourselves to this kind of absolute trash. I don't know, Atari was still doing okay back in the day, I think. Didn't Infograms buy Atari at one point in the PS2 era? I think they didn't do like the greatest games, but obviously there was still stuff like Driver Parallel Lines. Was that Atari? I want to say it was. I was wearing an Atari hoodie earlier, so I feel like I need to defend them. Let's see what Forest Adventure is. I'm curious for like 2 seconds. It's kind of like the floor is lava, I guess. It's a bit of a platformer, which, to be fair, this is the most competent platformer so far. It's not even that... Alright, I just went through a platform, but it isn't terrible. It's just got small hitboxes. This is the best game so far. I'm calling it now. This Forest Adventure is the absolute MVP of this console. I wouldn't play this for long, but it's the most competently made and the one that most resembles a video game, if I'm honest. Like, there's actual elements of platforming to this, whereas I don't know what you do with half of the other games on here. Like, yeah, it's not that good. It's just okay-ish. Robot. Something in Robot Wars, but probably not. Just Robot. No wars. I really wish I understood what was going on here. I don't know what that was. It wasn't even like I was playing it. It was almost like it was on a demo mode. But yeah, we're not doing that. Escape Way. This looks well made. Oh look, the electrodes are back, and you can choose how many of them jump. Okay, this isn't a bad concept. So they've all got to jump over that. Could go a little bit faster. Do you know what? I quite like the idea for this. Even if the execution's fairly horrendous, the idea for it is pretty good. It's hard to tell what's in the background and what isn't, but We can deal. I just like changing the sunglasses around. That's quite fun. And their faces when you jump, they're like, yay, we're jumping! So this is going to win the not the worst game on the console award. It's not the best game on the console, but it's not the worst game on the console. It's an average game. Well, it's better than average because the average is really, really bad. Does get a little bit repetitive after a while though. Like, really repetitive. I want to know what Man in Red is. It could be a Mario clone because he's the man in red. Do you see what I mean? He's the plumber in red. Oh, is that Mario? Is that Mario? Okay. I'm intrigued. It's not. It's like Rambo or someone. And he's firing up at the sky because he is. Well, I don't know. I was hoping it'd be Mario, but instead it's like Mario with an RPG. But not Super Mario RPG. Nothing that good. I mean, as expected, it's not terrible. It's just there's nothing past the initial gameplay. I think that's a running theme with these. They're like, here's what you do. And you're like, okay, cool. And it's like, no, that's it. You just play until you're bored. Which is why we included 200 games on this thing, because otherwise you'd be bored very, very quickly. I'm still... What is dejectile? What is... Sounds like a mix of dejected and projectile, but surely that's not good. It's Bomberman. I should have known we'd have a Bomberman clone on this at some point. I mean, I don't mind Bomberman, but there's only so much you can do with it, and it appears on every console like this as well. Like, you just know it's going to be there. It's a very basic version of Bomberman as well, actually. Like, I thought it's supposed to blow up all the way down the corridors, but apparently not. Who knew? So what have we've got Halli-Hoo, which is definitely going to be the next one I play. Halli-Hoo, Hexapod New, Hexapod War, Labyrinth, Lunarian, Mad Christmas. There's another one we're going to be playing. Panzer Attack and Motorboat. Garden War, Gallagant. If that's not Gallagher, I don't know what is. Frantic Mouse, First Defender, 5 Days. There's a few more I definitely want to check out. Cub Adventure. Awful Rushing. Sky Invader. I'm assuming that's going to be Space Invaders. So yeah, there's a few yet. There's a few yet that we can really sink our teeth into. Let's start with Halli-Hoo, because I said I would. Sounds like the sort of thing where if you sneeze and you don't quite know what you're going to say, you're just like, Halli-Hoo! Am I a bird? Is this a bird? Is it Pac-Man? This is literally a 3-second music loop. And birds explode. So that's Halli-Hoo. Your guess is as good as mine. Mad Christmas. You ripped out my heart. Then the very next day you sold it on the black market. So it's another collecty game. Do we just collect the gifts, or can we collect anything we want? Or apparently the gifts just fall through our tray, because when you develop a game as simple as this, you don't want to make it too good, do you? So yeah, it's another one where you can just collect absolutely everything. There's no danger. And the hitboxes are the size of 1 picogram of Turinabol, because we can't actually collect them. Is that a bomb? Give me the sweet release, please. Come on, where's the bomb? Give me the bomb. Give me the bomb, Santa. Yes, lightning. I'll have lightning. Yes. Electrocuted. Spring. It's whack-a-mole again, but this time we can actually control it. What song is this? It sounds oddly familiar. Don't tell me it's just these 2 phrases over and over. And now there's no music because we've broken the game. You know what, I think Twitch was just trying to put you out of your misery, Nick, because the games aren't good. They're just not that good. Yeah, it's whack-a-mole. Both of those games that I thought, oh, this could be good, are both whack-a-mole. So, you didn't miss much. Fruit dish. Okay. Let's see how they're going to wow me with fruit dish. So I'm supposed to turn it into whatever's there, like a potato? Is that a... They want 10 potatoes? I don't understand what they want from me. It's they just want potatoes. They don't want any fruit. Gameplay. This is top level gameplay. Turn everything into potatoes. I mean, the Sniper 2's 100 times better than that. Is it a lemon? Well, now I'm a lemon because I've given them a tomato. Still a fruit, though. And then they want 20 lemons because 10 wasn't enough. Wow. Wow. This is not a good console. I think it's time for awful rushing, which is really what I was trying to do through all of these games. Harry, this console doesn't smell. Yeah, it does. It smells awful. So it's a motorbike game, is it? Called Awful Rushing. I don't understand why they've called it Awful Rushing. Maybe it's a mistranslation and it's supposed to be called Horrendous Hurrying. I don't know. It's not good. I wasn't expecting it to be good, but like, there's literally nothing redeeming on this console. If Maplins still existed, I would take it back without a receipt and be like, are you trying to kill me? Are you trying to murder me via boredom? It's Ride to Hell. It is Ride to Hell, the prequel. Now, where's the clothed relations? Where is that? It's just it's not good enough to even. Devil Dom Doom. Now, there is a way of reading this that Devil Dom Doom. Ever been domed by a devil? I hope not. What is this? Did we get shot? We literally got shot within like 2 seconds of starting. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. There's no music, thankfully. We've come to learn that silent games are actually really, really good and probably the best on this console. I can't move because this guy keeps respawning. Do we want that? Yeah, okay, we want that. And now we're dead. So someone didn't really know how to program a difficulty curve. They just programmed like 5 enemies on screen and like, yeah, that should do. They'll attack and kill you, and that will be it. That's just how it goes in Devil Dom Doom, also known as Triple D. Panzer Fly Car sounds kind of interesting. I want to know about Panzer Fly Car. And it is just called Panzer Fly Car. That's baseball. Okay. Okay, we'll play baseball next for sure. We were left on the start line. Is this Panzer racing? Is this what the Germans were doing in the war? That this is literally Panzer racing. We're just Third Reich move out because we're Panzer racing. And these are Panzers that went 190 kilometers an hour apparently. So I don't know if you've ever seen a tank go over 100 miles an hour. I sure hope you have. I mean, a factual history of World War II will tell you that Panzers never went over 100 miles an hour, nor did they race, nor did they crash into each other. And well, that's it. We're gonna go and wake Jason up. Is this the noise a Panzer would make? Just that's it. It's just literally a constant tone. Yeah, that's it. Give me some fuel. I need some fuel to get to the Rhineland. We're just going. It's like the countdown clock for fuel. We've got 8 fuel. Are we going to make it to Poland? Maybe. Not if that guy blocks us. Nope, we're running out of fuel. We've stopped on the border. We're empty. So, yeah, those Panzers were going about 5 times their actual top speed, but it did make them more interesting. So, Panzer Fly Car, not the worst game on this. It's time for a game of baseball, though. Hopefully, it's some sort of version of the NES baseball, is what I'm hoping, because that wasn't half bad. Baseball new. It's going to be better than the baseball of old. He's got no face. He's got no face. He's possessed. And is that his mouth? That's either his mouth or he's been in an accident. He's been in a rather bad industrial accident and his face is a gaping hole. Here they go. The baseball people, the men on the pitch. And batter up, I suppose. And things have occurred. That was definitely a hit. There's no music, which is potentially a mercy. Do we want to just? Do you want to pitch? Yeah, there we go. Right. I think he's safe. This is just really slow baseball. Why you do this to me, Black and Mild? They didn't really mess up baseball so much as it's just really slow. And I mean, baseball is generally slow, but they're not doing much, are they? I don't know, NES sports games in general just aren't that good. If you see anything you want played, then get it in the chat, because we've got about 10 minutes left in which to check out this, and then I'm never going to play it again. In fact, I'll probably throw it out the window, if I'm honest. Let's see what 5 Days at Freddy's is like. Wasn't this tune on a different game? I feel like we've heard this already this evening. So we can't actually move. I know we can, sort of. Okay, that's... Why wouldn't they shoot from cover? I don't understand why you wouldn't... Why wouldn't you shoot from cover? Why would you come all the way over to me and then... it's these type of games that just... They sort of tire me out, you know, because... It doesn't need to be a game. It's just... It's a really, really bad version of a game. I don't know why I picked up the health. I'm prolonging this. Alright, come on, kill me. Someone kill me. Someone shoot me to death. Go on. Hooray! That happened. It's almost as if they couldn't make a good game for like 47p or whatever the development budget of any of these games was. Like, I understand making a good game is difficult, but maybe just don't, you know? Maybe just don't make a game if your heart's not in it. Maybe just don't do it. Don't worry about producing a game if you can't. What's Gold Digger? I ain't saying she's a gold digger, but you know, she's not messing with anyone really. Is that Kirby? That's not Kirby, is it? Well, it's got a bit of a kick on it, whatever it is. I don't think it's Kirby. I think if that was Kirby, Nintendo would be suing. Are we collecting letters? Are we going to spell something? I think we might be spelling something out. Oh, nice. No fall damage either. That's good. We'll just kick these fools to the curb. Lanami. Yeah, that's a word. Great. And so it continues. Oh, we can jump. Didn't even use the jump button to clear the first stage. That's how elite my skills are. What? He turned into a spider when he's crawling. How does that work? I know it's best not to question these, but like, really? So he can climb as well, sort of. Yeah, he's stuck. So we're stuck. Let's see, is there anything that we missed? Anything hilarious that we missed? I want the best names out of all the games on here. Toad in the Hole. Surely Toad in the Hole is going to be good. Sausage isn't... Oh, it's Whack-A-Mole. It's Whack-A-Mole. We're not even playing it. It's Whack-A-Mole. They've disappointed me. What about Goalkeeper? Surely they can't mess football up. Right, here we go. I'm ready. Ready. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh. Okay, I'm ready. 3, 2, 1, go. 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 Oh, it was a goal. Right, okay. Turns out we're not Hugo Lloris. Right, we're going to be ready for this one. We got this. I'm not very good. Not very good at this. Ready. Right, I'm ready. 3, 2, 1. Go. And then they kick it. Right, we're not playing that anymore. That's awful. What have we got? Deformable. Deformable sounds like a wonderful game that we should definitely play. Is it just a shoot 'em up? Nope, it's not even a shoot 'em up. It's this again. Except your car change. It's a bit like, was it G? I don't even know what the game was called on Master System, but it's that. It's just that. It's a much worse version of whatever we were playing a little bit earlier. It's really quite bad. So there are a few repeats, but they're in different like art styles just to fool you. They're like, oh yeah, it's not that game again. Totally not. What's Mouse Hero? Have we got to catch our mice brethren off the roof? Oh, that's a grenade, so he can have that back. There we go, we're catching our mouse brethren and we're trying to blow up the dude throwing our mice brethren off the roof. Could you stop throwing mice off the roof, please? I was going to ask nicely, but I might have to take a grenade to him. Such a catchy tune as well. I'm ready. Ready when you are, mate. Start throwing the mice. Right, grenade him. Oh, yes. Well, that was great. That was truly epic. I think we've got time for one more game, so I'm going to find something good. I'm going to find something that's absolutely worthy to finish this. We must have played 50 crappy games, at least, in the past 2 hours. I'm pretty exhausted, to be honest with it all. It's been bad. It's been really bad. What about Shoot? Surely they call him Messed Up Shoot. Oh, it's clay pigeon shooting, like from the Olympics. Except I don't know how it controls, so at the moment, we're not doing great. Yeah, I don't know how that works. Anyway, none of these games were any good. Surprisingly, the Retro MiniTV games from Maplin has let us down. It's a good thing they went out of business because I would have taken that back otherwise. Yeah, I don't think we're going to find a good game on here, you know. The actual device itself is not great. It's just, I mean, literally, it plugs into the TV via an 1/8" jack. Like, that is, how can that transmit a signal that's any good? It can't. That's the answer. So yeah, this is terrible. It's awful, and it's only really deserving of one fate. So we'll have to find something to do with it. Let me just bring the screen up a little bit. So yeah, thank you for joining me on this Retro MiniTV games adventure. 3 AAA batteries have been wasted. Whilst playing this. I don't have a hammer. I don't think I've got a hammer. I'll see if I've got a hammer. I'll have a look, but I don't think I have. Now there's no hammer in my room at least. But what I will do is I'll give it the send-off that it deserves. There we go. So that's what I think of the retro MiniTV games. Thank you for joining me in the Armbar Arcade to experience that. It was £14.99 in case you wanted to get your hands on one of them from Thumbs Up Interactive UK. Let them know what you think of the product because it's terrible. Yeah, follow our Twitch if you aren't already. Subscribe to YouTube. Do the things. We usually stream. I'm usually here on Wednesdays. AJ's going to be here next, I think New Year's Eve maybe, with Gran Turismo 2. Continuing that, I'll probably play some more Ridge Racer 64 at some point. But until then, have a good Christmas period. And I will see you next time in the Armbar Arcade. See you later.